does the traditional publishing journey actually entail? Hey guys, I'm Marilyn and welcome back to my channel. So I'm having a fibromyalgia flare, so I'm going to be seated for the next few videos on my channel, and maybe I'll decide to be seated for all of them. It's really comfortable, so let's see. So today I'm going to be talking about the steps of traditional publishing. Quick disclaimer, I have not yet been traditionally published, but I have been researching this industry since I was about 11 years old. So if you just want to know the basic steps to traditional publishing, what you can expect, then stay tuned. So the first thing that will have to happen is querying. Now remember that these steps all follow after your book has been finished, and this is for a debut author. Your book has to be as polished as you can possibly get it through critique partners and beta readers, and then you can start querying. So 90% of the time, in order to be traditionally published, you're going to have a literary agent. Exceptions to this will be with small indie publishers. So unfortunately, the rejection rate from literary agents is quite high, so you're going to have to query quite a few literary agents in order to secure representation. So here you should compile a list of agents that you think are reputable, that you would like to work with, and that represent your age category and genre. Then you can query them in rounds. You can decide how many you want to query, how many you want to query per round. Most of these agents, or all of them, will require a query letter, which is basically a one-page cover letter explaining your book and a quick paragraph about who you are. Most of them will also require a synopsis, so you'll have to write that, and some of them will request pages from the manuscript. Then next up is actually getting the agent. So if an agent likes your query, maybe they read your synopsis, then they will probably request either your full manuscript or a part thereof, what we call a partial request. If they then read that partial request and request a full manuscript, or they just read the full manuscript off the bat and they really like the story, they will probably offer you representation. This will usually happen in the form of a call, but I would advise you to always have a written contract that you must sign before accepting representation officially. So this is then what will happen. You will receive a contract, you will sign, and that person will then be an agent and will receive a percentage of your book sale proceeds. And there's agent edits. So not all agents are editors or would like to edit your work, but most of them are these days. So if you get an editorial agent, they will want to do some edits on the manuscript with you. And this will take as many rounds of edits as is needed for both of you to be satisfied that the book is ready. Then there's going on submission, which is querying, but just more excruciating. If your book is now finished, according to you and your agent, then your agent will pitch the work to editors. And this will usually take many rounds of submitting to different editors at a time. So once an editor shows interest in your work, the submission process will usually come to an end and the power is back in your hands. Your agent will now let the other editors know that there's an editor that is interested, and if they still want to grab up your book, then they have to respond within a certain period of time. The submission process can take months and months, so be prepared for waiting for that email. Then there's acquisitions. Now, if an editor feels that they want to take on your book, the whole publishing house needs to be on board, not just that one editor. And this is what acquisition meetings are for. So your editor will now pitch the book to the rest of the publishing house to see whether they think that it is feasible. Do the marketing teams feel like they can market this book successfully? Do the financial teams think that this book will be profitable? And only once the whole publishing house agrees will they acquire your book. Then there's offer and or auction. If the publishing house wants to publish your work, then you will receive an offer. And then, very exciting, if more than one publisher is interested, then the book will go to auction, where publishers will bid against each other. It's not a physical auction, but will bid against each other to be able to publish your book, and you will then choose the offer that is best for you. Now let's get to the contract. So once you've accepted that offer, or you've picked a certain house to publish with, the contract negotiations will begin. Your agent will usually be in charge of these negotiations. That's where your agent really shines. But I would really recommend having an intellectual property lawyer look at it as well. Agents are well versed in the world of publishing contracts, but they are not legal experts. So once you have reached a contract that you and the publisher are happy with, or equally happy with, you have to compromise on some things, then you will sign the contract and you will now have a publishing contract with a publishing house. Now, your publisher will usually pay you in advance, which is what they predict you will make in royalties from this book, and the advance is usually paid in installments. So the first installment is typically paid on contract signing. Then there's more edits. So now you and your editor will be working on edits, and there will be multiple rounds of this until both of you are happy. And once everyone is happy that the book is the best that it can be, you will usually receive the second portion of your advance. The publisher then does the behind the scenes publishing work, the formatting, cover design, distribution, marketing, and remember that you will have to supplement the publisher's marketing scheme with your own. And then your book is published. So the process from offer to publication can take anywhere from under a year to 6+ years. And as soon as you start earning royalties above that initial advance paid, you will receive these royalties. And that is the traditional publishing process in a nutshell. Obviously, there will be nuances, there will be variety in how everyone's publishing journey goes, but that is the basic set out of the steps that you can expect. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Be sure to hit that little subscribe button and ring that bell if you want writing advice videos every single Friday. As always, you can find me on my website, Instagram, Facebook, Tumblr, and Twitter. All the links are listed below, and I will see you guys in next week's video. Bye!